All right, guys, welcome to part 4 of the C33 painting contractor's license study guide. Remember, if this has helped you, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, share with your friends, and support me through buy me a coffee or send me some money through BTC, the wallet, or super thanks or whatever it is on YouTube. All right, let's get started. So we're going to be dealing with wallpaper now. As a painting contractor, you might have never worked with wallpaper, but the state requires you to know the basic concept behind what wallpaper is, how it's done, and how what's needed for you to actually install wallpaper. So wallpaper is used in interior decoration to cover the interior walls of domestic and public buildings. It is usually sold in rolls. Sorry about that. Okay, it is usually sold in rolls and is applied onto a wall using a wallpaper paste. Wallpaper can come in as a plain liner paper to help cover uneven surfaces and minor wall defects. Textured, pretty much plain with the regular repeating pattern, and or with a single repeating large design carried over a set of sheets. Wallpaper is decorative wall covering. It's pretty much used to enhance the appearance of interior spaces. It is applied using a wall adhesive and comes in various patterns, textures, finishes to suit different aesthetics. This will be on the test, so even if you've never installed any wallpaper before, you must know the basic information behind it, like I said. So how is wallpaper used? Remember, it enhances it in interior design. It adds texture, color, and patterns to walls. It covers its perfections. This is why a lot of these old school homes from like the 1940s, 1950s use wallpaper. It hides minor wall defects better than paint. It creates accent walls, used for feature. It's used for a feature to feature walls to make a room stand out. It provides durability. Some wallpapers are more durable than others and washable than others. So have you ever been to like an industrial kitchen or something from the past? They had wallpaper, and that it was typically made from a heavy duty like plastic style sheet that was meant to be able to wipe down clean. So pretty much I'm gonna go into detail about what type of wallpaper is. I'm not going to go for their uses. I'm just going to go for their characteristics because this will be important. So vinyl wallpaper is water resistant, durable, and washable. Non-woven wallpaper is tear resistant, breathable, and easy to remove. Textured wallpaper is pretty much raised patterns, and it adds depth, so you feel like a pattern behind it with the texture. Grass cloth wallpaper is made from natural fibers, bamboo, jute, or hemp. Fabric wallpaper. It can be soft texture and adds a sophisticated look. Foil wallpaper. This is a paper made out of like a metal substance, so it could be like aluminum, it could be brass, it could be copper, etc. Right? It's just a metallic finish. It reflects light. The foil paper, just remember that because it is metal, any bent or any scratch will be noticeable. Flock paper is velvety texture. It has a vintage style. And peel and stick wallpaper is self-adhesive. It's removable and easy to install. So the difference between peel and stick is that comes with its own glue, and all the other ones, they need their own glue, and it's their own specialized glue. Okay. So preparation, how to install wallpaper. You got to clean the wall. So that means you remove dust, grease, and any old wallpaper, if any. Okay, you're going to fill holes and cracks if there's any. So you can use spackle or a filler for a smooth surface, whatever you want to use. If you did any patches, or if it is raw drywall, you're going to have to prime it. Okay, you're going to have to prime it because it'll help the wallpaper adhere better with the glue. All right, the next step would be you're going to measure and cut. So you're going to cut wallpaper strips to fit the wall height and add extra for trimming. When they say trimming, that means you add just enough to where you could get to the wall itself and trim all that little extra off. You're going to apply adhesive if required, right? Which so every other paper other than the stick and peel is going to need paper, so you're going to have to add it before you even do all that. Some wallpapers need paste while others are peel and stick. You're going to align it after you're done cutting it and everything. And if you put glue, that's when you align it and attach. You start at the top, ensuring a straight line. Start at the most noticeable wall on a corner. That way you can kind of get like a good look going around the whole room or whatever it might be. If the ceilings are involved, right, if those are also getting wallpaper, then you must do the ceilings first, then the walls. You're going to want to smooth out the bubbles while you're actually putting it onto the wall using a wallpaper smoother or a brush. And finally, you're going to trim the excess. So you're going to cut along the baseboards and ceilings for a clean finish. You're going to let this dry, allow the time for the adhesive to properly set. And, eventually you come back, give it a look. If everything looks great, you're done. So how to choose depending on the location. Just remember that if for moisture prone areas, you're going to want to use vinyl or waterproof wallpaper. For waterproof, you could also use metallic if you want. For easy removal, so you want to go with non-woven or peel and stick wallpaper. That means it's easier to remove. It won't be tough because it uses its own glue. For a luxurious touch, this is a little bit more fancy. You're going to want to go with the flock, fabric, and glass cloth wallpaper. And for a modern, trendy decor, you want to go with the textured or metallic wallpaper. So, what types of wallpaper glues are there, and what are their uses? So, wallpaper glue adhesive is used to bond wallpaper to the wall securely. So, pretty much different types of glues are used based on the wallpaper material, wall surface, and ease of application. Remember that standard wallpaper paste is made from wheat or starch based. Pretty much it's water soluble. That means it will react to water. It's easy to apply and easy to remove. It's light to medium weight. It's used for light to medium weight wallpapers. You're going to use, there's also vinyl adhesive. This is strong, waterproof, and mildew resistant. Vinyl is probably your best route for any wallpaper, only because if standard wallpaper paste, because it is made from like a natural product, it will have mold if water does intrude into the wallpaper. So heavy duty paste is extra strength and prevents peeling. There's also pre-mixed wallpaper paste, peel and stick adhesive. There's clay-based paste and clear cellulose paste. The only thing that I'm going to tell you guys that will be on the test, if you get a question, there's no guarantee you're going to get it, but if you do, and they ask you, what should you use for a room that has moisture, and they might give you like standard wallpaper, or they might say wheat wallpaper glue or starch based glue or something, right? And it'll have vinyl. Just remember that vinyl is the only one that no matter how much water it gets, it will not have mold growing on it. Okay, so just remember that. And they might ask you too, if you're going to be using a foil or metallic type wallpaper, what type of glue are you going to use? It's always going to be vinyl. Okay, the only time they might ask you something, and standard wallpaper and paste you might get it as an answer, is if they ask you which one of these is made from natural products, and well, not natural, but it's made from natural like organic products. Just put standard wallpaper, or it might say wheat based or starch based. Okay, just remember that. Okay, so matching glue to wallpaper type. So remember what I said before. So vinyl wallpaper, you're going to want to use vinyl adhesive or clay-based paste. Non-woven wallpaper, standard paste or pre-mixed. Textured wallpaper, flock, embossed, or grass. You're going to want to go with heavy duty. Fabric wallpaper, you're going to want to go with heavy duty or clear cellulose paste. Metallic or faux paper, you're going to want to go with special adhesive to prevent staining. And when they say that, just remember that it's vinyl. Okay, it's vinyl. Peel and stick wallpaper is self-adhesive, so you don't need additional glue. Okay, how to estimate wallpaper. So properly estimating wallpaper coverage and glue quantity helps avoid shortages, waste during installation. Below is a step-by-step guide on how to calculate and how the required wallpaper and adhesive. And the common method of ordering wallpaper, estimating wallpaper coverage. Sorry about that hiccup. All right, so estimating wallpaper coverage. All right, steps to calculate wallpaper rolls are needed as so measure the wall, measure the height and the width of each wall, and multiply to get the area. That'll give you your square footage. Subtract the windows and the doors if you want to. So measure and so measure out the windows and the door openings. Get the square footage of that and subtract that from your wall measurements. Pretty much determine and obviously if there's also like built-in cabinets, well, measure that out too. So determine roll coverage. So typically standard American wallpaper rolls cover about 30 to 56 square feet. When they say 56, it's because it came in double, but usable coverage is lower due to the pattern repeating. Most likely you're going to get only about 30 square feet of actual use. They're going to come in 36 square feet, but remember 30 is your number. All right. And on the test, they're going to give you their own number. Okay. But just remember that 30 is the actual number right now. All right. Adjust for pattern repeat. Okay. So that means the pattern's going to repeat. So make sure that when you do get it, you got enough to where it actually looks even, right? So if your wallpaper has a pattern, you may need an extra material to match the design. Add 15 to 20% extra for pattern repeats and waste. So remember that standard American rolls come in 20.5 by 33. So remember that it's only going to be 30 to 40 square feet of usage. Remember that I said it's going to be 30 square feet for residential walls. Okay, European rolls come in 21 by 32.8. That's different. American rolls a lot of times come in double roll, so that's where they get the 56 from. But singular is going to be 30. Okay, it's going to come in 36 feet or 36 square feet, but it's only going to be 30. Only 30 of that is going to be usable. Okay, so wallpaper glue. So the general rule for glue is one glue of wallpaper covers 4 to 6 standard rolls. For heavy duty wallpaper, more glue is required due to the thickness and the texture. So remember that lightweight paper is going to need about 1/4 per roll of glue. Vinyl or heavyweight paper is going to need 1.5 quarts per roll. And fabric backed or grass cloth wallpaper will require 2 quarts per roll. So they're gonna give you an example on the test about how to estimate and how much paper you're gonna need and how much glue you're gonna need. Remember that the test is never gonna tell you to know the going rate for your area or anything like that. And if they do give you a going rate, it's gonna be one that they just give you a random number on. Okay, so don't worry about getting the right price or anything. They don't care about that. So room dimensions. Let's say you got a room and it's 10 by 8 feet, right? So the width of a wall is 10 feet and the height of it is 8 feet. That means you got 80 square feet. Let's say there's 4 walls. So times 4 walls times 80, that'll give you 320 square feet. Okay, let's say your windows and doors add up all the way up to 40 square feet. Go ahead and subtract that. That's going to give you 280 square feet. Now from there, you're going to want to adjust for if there's extra patterns going on, if you got a repeating pattern. So I'm going to add an extra 10%. Now remember, you could technically it's 15% just in case. But I'm just going to put 10%. So that's if you multiply 280 square feet times 0.10, which that's 10%. That'll give you 28 square feet. Add that up, right? That'll give you eventually 328 square feet. That's your total amount of wallpaper that you're going to have to order. Now that we know that, now we got to figure out how many actual rolls of wallpaper we're gonna need. So remember, and I'm just giving you guys an example based on what's here, that usable wallpaper coverage per roll is 35 square feet. Now I put 35, remember it's 30. I'm just throwing out numbers so you guys get the idea. Okay, so let's say it's 35 square feet of actual usable wallpaper. That means we're gonna get the 328 square feet. Divide that by 35. That's gonna give us 9.37 rolls. We're gonna add that up all the way to 10 rolls, because you're gonna round it up and you can't order half a roll. You gotta order a whole roll. So that's 10. Now we're gonna need how much glue are we gonna need, right? So get your 10 rolls, and remember that 1 quart is 25% of a gallon. So times 10 rolls times 25%, or a quarter, so 1/4, that'll eventually give us 2.5 gallons in total. So we're gonna need 10 rolls of wallpaper, and we're gonna need 2.5 gallons of glue to do a room that's 10 by 8. Okay, so pretty much, guys, it's not hard to get all these numbers. Just remember the steps required to do so. Okay, so now we're going to talk about wallpaper problems and fixes. So installing wallpaper can be tricky, and several issues may arise during or after installation. Below are common wallpaper problems and their solutions to ensure a professional looking finish. Bubbles. Now, air pockets under wallpaper, right? What causes that? That's caused by not smoothing the wallpaper properly during installation, having trapped air pockets, or excessive adhesive, so too much glue. How do you fix that? You use a smoothing tool or a wallpaper brush to push out air bubbles out. If bubbles appear after drying, prick a small hole with the pin, inject adhesive, and smooth it out. Avoid excessive glue and apply evenly. If it starts to peel or lose edge, the cause of that is typically from not enough glue being applied to the edges, surface not properly primed before wallpapering, high humidity causing adhesion failure. How do you fix that? You apply wallpaper adhesive under the lifted edge with a small brush. You press down and smooth with the roll or cloth. You use a seam roller to ensure a firm bond in humid areas, and you use vinyl or moisture resistant glue. So for seams showing or lifting causes: overlapping wallpaper edges incorrectly, it's uneven wall surface, an adhesive drying too quickly before applying to the next strip. So how do you fix that? You ensure wallpaper seams butt together. That means no overlap. Use a seam roller to press down and secure edges. You apply extra adhesive along the seams before they dry out. All right, for wrinkles and creases, what causes that? That would be caused by wallpaper stretch too much during application, uneven pressure when smoothing. And how do you fix that? You would gently lift the wallpaper, reposition it before the adhesive dries, use a smoothing tool to apply even pressure, and avoid stretching the wallpaper when installing. Wallpaper shrinkage is caused by adhesive drying too fast, causing the paper to contract. Poor quality wallpaper or incorrect glue application. You would fix that by let the wallpaper rest for 5 to 10 minutes after applying the adhesive before hanging. Ensure the room is not too hot or dry, as it speeds up adhesive drying. Use high quality wallpaper and glue. Misaligned patterns is caused by incorrect measuring and cutting, not accounting for pattern repeat, and you'd fix that by cutting and measuring the matched patterns carefully. You check the pattern repeat length before applying the next strip, and use a chalk line or a laser to level out the wallpaper straight. For glue stains and residue, it's typically caused by glue seeping through the seams, glue not cleaned before drying. Typically, you'd fix that by wiping off excessive glue with the dump sponge. Avoid over applying adhesive. If glue has dried out, remove it with warm water and soap. And finally, the wallpaper not sticking to the wall. That's caused by glossy or unprimed walls. using the wrong adhesive. You'd fix that by, again, sanding down glossy surfaces and applying a wallpaper primer before installation. Use the correct adhesive for wallpaper type, whether it's vinyl, fabric, or paper. Corners not sticking properly. Remember, wallpapers applied to if they're applied too tightly to the corners, won't stick. Not enough adhesive on the corners, and to fix that, you'd have to cut and slightly overlap wallpaper at the corner instead of bending it. Apply extra adhesive in corner areas. If you got mold or mildew behind wallpaper, that's typically caused by high humidity or moisture trapped behind the wallpaper. Wallpaper applied over a damp surface. You'd fix that by ensuring the walls are completely dry before wallpapering. Use mold-resistant wallpaper adhesive in bathrooms or humid areas. In severe cases, you'd have to remove the wallpaper, treat mold with bleach solution, and repaint and apply the wallpaper. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. I know that some of you guys haven't used any wallpaper. Like even me, like in my full time that I've worked in painting, I've never once installed wallpaper. But I do know the basics of it. So the state will require you to know this.